Self-help is a massive $8 billion industry, and it practically takes over bookstores and conference halls. Now, while it's undoubtedly changed countless lives for the better, there's still a certain skepticism surrounding it. Some folks think it's just a bunch of snake oil, while others can't help but chuckle at some of the, let's say, unconventional advice that's passed off as a life-changing wisdom. Many have given it a shot only to end up feeling a bit puzzled and unsatisfied. So are you ready to uncover the truth about self-help? Let's talk about the famous advice, just be yourself. It's everywhere, right? You've probably heard it a million times, and it goes something like this. Don't change who you are, you're already amazing, and you'll find your dream job and love just as you are. But here's the twist. Sometimes this whole just be yourself thing can turn you into a bit of a couch potato. I mean, think about it. If all you have to do is just be yourself, where's the motivation for growth, improvement, or self-reflection? It's like a one-way ticket to apathy city. So here's the scoop. Just be yourself isn't all it's cracked up to be. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, right? Now, embracing them without any effort to improve can lead to a not so pleasant lifestyle. Here's a better idea. Aim to improve while staying true to your core values. The real challenge is figuring out those values that will be your guiding star. Once you've got that down, you'll unlock a surge of energy. And guess what? You can work on those weaknesses without feeling like you're betraying yourself. So there are some self-help practices that science has given a little nod to. Think meditation or mindfulness, proven winners right there. Keeping a journal, practicing gratitude daily, and being charitable also have some scientific street cred. But here's where things get interesting. The science isn't quite clear on some linguistic programming, affirmations, or getting in touch with your inner child. Well, they're in a bit of a gray area, depending on how and why you use them. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The stuff that's, well, let's just say it, complete nonsense. Things like feng shui, tarot cards, telekinesis, and the whole shebang of supernatural woo-woo stuff. Yeah, science isn't exactly throwing confetti for those. Here's the deal. A good chunk of self-help info out there might be nothing more than a placebo if it's lucky, or straight up baloney if it's not. But here's the exciting twist in the self-help saga. In the past decade, some brainy folks like Dan Gilbert have jumped on board. They're penning self-help books rather than scientific studies. No more, I was cleaning my closet when God gave me this life-changing wisdom that touched my soul. Nope, it's all about solid research and advice you can trust. Let's keep riding this wave of science-backed self-improvement together. So here's a twist. The fundamental step towards personal growth is the acceptance that you're alright just as you are. You don't necessarily need anyone else's wisdom or guidance for that. It's like a secret key, and here's the kicker. No one else can hand it to you. Nope, you've got to reach out all on your own. Here's where things get wonderfully ironic. Once you truly embrace the fact that you don't need anyone else's help to become an awesome human being, that's when their advice actually becomes incredibly valuable. It's like you've unlocked a treasure chest of insights. Oddly enough, self-help tends to be the most beneficial for those who, well, don't really need it in the first place. It's for the folks who are already in the okay to great category, not the ones trying to leap from bad to okay. Although it's often the latter who end up diving headfirst into spending their hard-earned cash. Now let's talk about self-improvement. It's right there in the name. It's about enhancing yourself, not replacing who you are. If you're on a quest to swap out your entire being for something brand new, well, sorry to break it to you, but that's a recipe for frustration. You're more likely to get sucked into the world of nonsense and pseudoscience instead of dealing with those feelings of inadequacy head on. In some cases, self-help even becomes a canvas for people to project their own inadequacies onto others, or living vicariously through a so-called guru or someone else's success. It's like the illusion of progress rather than the real deal. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. Banish those negative thoughts and fill your mind with positivity. It sounds like a recipe for eternal happiness, doesn't it? Well, hold on to your seats because that's a plot twist coming. Here's the shocker. Negative thinking isn't a villain. It's often made out to be. In fact, it might just be one of the secret ingredients for living a fulfilling life, free from endless suffering. Wait, say what? Now let's travel back in time to ancient Greece, where the roots of modern-day self-improvement techniques lie in Stoicism, a philosophy that produced some seriously hardcore thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca. Seneca, for instance, was like the James Bond of his era. He went from being ultra-rich to broke, got exiled a few times, tutored a psychopathic emperor, ended up being sentenced to a self-inflicting demise, all with remarkable calmness. So what's the big secret behind these stoic high achievers? be it in physical, spiritual, or in emotional realms. It turns out that they had a powerful tool in their psychological arsenal: negative thinking. According to the wise William B. Irvine, a philosophy professor practicing, the Stoics encourage something they call negative visualization. It's like a mentally stimulating the loss of things you hold dear: your spouse, your car, your job. Why, you ask? Because it makes you appreciate them more, my friend. Fast forward to today, and cognitive therapists are using negative visualization as a super weapon against anxiety and depression. They get you to confront your worst fears in vivid detail, like facing a dragon in your mind. And guess what? The anxiety often disappears like a puff of smoke. But wait, there's more. Negative thinking can even help you reach your goals. Scientists found that when overweight individuals fantasize about both losing weight and encountering tempting caloric-laden food scenarios, those with the negative fantasies actually shed more pounds. Why? Because they are better equipped to handle setbacks and keep pushing forward. Now remember, this isn't about mindlessly worrying. It's a conscious choice to contemplate obstacles, setbacks, and potential losses. Start small, maybe with minor annoyances, and work your way up to the bigger stuff. Here's the deal, you've got to figure out this life stuff for yourself. I know it might sound like a bit of a cop-out, but think about it. Why on earth would anyone else have all the answers to your unique journey? Sure, you can listen to other people's stories and ideas, and that's a great starting point. But here's the kicker. It's how you apply those insights to your own life that truly matters. Let's not kid ourselves. This journey isn't supposed to be a walk in the park. If anyone tells you it's a cakewalk, they're probably trying to sell you something. So my friends, here's a piece of advice. Be skeptical, be selfish, and a little ruthless when it comes to your own happiness. This is your own life we're talking about, and nobody else can be as invested in your happiness as you are. If you ever catch yourself expecting someone else to make you happy, well, there's the crux of your issue right there. And guess what? No one can fix that except for you. I mentioned it earlier, the very first and most fundamental step towards personal growth is the acceptance that you're alright, just as you are. But there's something I've started doing to help understand myself even better. So check out my deep dive video where I show you what it is and how to find your authentic self.